What's up, guys? That's the first time I have a timer thing. I just wanted to see how it would be. Jesus, I'm sweating. I miss streaming. I don't stream enough now. I might go back to streaming more often because, Jesus, it feels like not enough. How do I... Aww. Arigatou Dino. Oh, I have my guitar. I fixed my green screen, by the way. 7 months. Shit. You've been saying fuck you every single time. Sheesh. Let me just fix this real quick. There, my head cuts off there. Boom. I fix everything. Oh. I think it's a Korean song or Chinese. Or I'm racist. It gives you some time for everyone to arrive. Yeah. Thank you for the resub, Dino. I know, that was beautiful. Ow. I fixed my green screen. Oh my god. I have to show you guys a picture. I literally put tape on my ceiling. And I like put string to pull the green screen to the ceiling so I could push it back. So now I have all this space to go back and like be a person. I'm always gonna say fucking. Alright, see you, Dino. Nice to see you though. Thanks for the sub. Yeah, it seems like work is harsh. Hopefully I'll be streaming more soon, so. But what's up, Mac? What's up, Doctor? What's up, Diego, eating your Oreo stuff? Fucking with you. Love funkin' with you, but it sounds like love fucking with you. See you, Dino. Anyway, if anyone wants to play chess, you're more than welcome to join me. You know what I just realized, though? I'm such a perfectionist. I just realized that my, the screen avatars go in the way. So we're gonna make that. How do I solve that? Any geniuses in chat have a way to solve it? I honestly don't know how to... Oh, I could just turn it off. I don't want to turn it off, though. Ooh, baby, I need you. I guess I'll turn it off. I've started to work on a Jump King custom map. Hell yeah, bro. How is Jump King, like, what are the custom maps? Like, how does that work? Anyone can make just any map they want now? I might play a bit of Jump King tonight. It's been too long. I have to install the new thing, though, or whatever. The heck? Why isn't it... Oh, play. Freaking 10,000 IQ moves in this game, only. If anyone wants to play... I don't know what my thingy is. What is my thingy? Ah! I think my thingy is Ping Pong Moosters, if you don't have me added. You could send a friend request and we could play. Look at this noob. I got up to rated 1,000 and then I lost 2 games in a row and I just cried. It's kind of complicated to make one. It's not like Mario Maker. Oh. Only a handful of new maps. Shit. Then you could actually be like one. You could be a pioneer. I haven't seen Mills in a while. I wonder how they're doing. Boom. Stupid. Look at that. He doubled his pawns. I won this game if I was a GM. Oh, this song is so sexy. He's just protecting his pawn. That was kind of... Okay. Yeah, I'll do this. Because then my bishop can go out and my knight can still come out. It's very nice. I've been editing pretty hard the past few days. Did you enjoy the... Did you guys enjoy the Jump King video? For anyone who watched it. Look at this fascist. You see, this doesn't work the same exact way. Because if he takes, I could take with my queen, so it's not as annoying. So I'm just literally going to ignore it. I don't care if he takes. I'm going to pre-move it. Jaba. I had this on low volume. I said, "What's up, Diego? How are you?" Hack. What's that? If only it was that simple. Do you guys hear the music, by the way? So he's ignoring that. He's not taking. I feel like he's being mad annoying. So I'm gonna be annoying and push back? Yeah, I'll push back. You're good? Hell yeah. I hope that Oreo was good in your mouth. Never mind, that sounds wrong. I hope you're enjoying that Oreo as well. I'm playing against a random person until one of you guys want to play. You are an answering, so... I can just easily run away from this now. Boom! Map making is super lengthy. I won't be done for several months? Jesus. Since around January, community map started 10 people. Then me and a couple others started other maps. Cool! That's sick. Yeah, play against me. I don't know what to do. He's stupid. If I put my horsey there, then he goes and he eats it. If I go there, then he goes and he eats it. If I go here, then he could just go forward and stack my pawns, but at least my rook will be forward. And if he takes, then I'm forced to take with this, which allows my bishop to come out, but I don't want my bishop to come out that way. Or I could go here, and if it... No, I'm gonna do... Or I could just ignore it and do this. I need to do that. Hi again, Mac. What's up? Do you guys hear the music, or is it too low? Really? That was his whole move? He just goes there, and then he goes back? That seems so stupid. Was he scared I was gonna take this somehow? Like, with my queen? I'm just gonna push. Yeah, I'm just gonna push. I might... Boop! Okay, if he goes here, I take. If he goes here, I literally take. I don't mind that. What are you doing, sir? What are you doing? What is this man doing? I don't understand. What if he goes there, then he could take my knight, but then I take his pawn unless... It'll be just a trade. See you next time. You like that? I added that. I don't want to take. I don't think taking is right. I'm gonna do this. Damn, you contributed a lot to that. Wow. Life is good. I've been editing YouTube videos. I don't know if you guys watched that. Just wanted to hear. It's so cool. Right? Add more sound alerts as memes. What do you think could be me? See you next time. What do you think? I was thinking of, but I didn't know what memes would work. So if I push this, he takes, I take. He can't take with this. He could go there. I'm just gonna do it. I'm wasting too much time. Add a bruh. What, this? I should. Last time when we raided last Thursday, we raided Sammy, and he had a bunch, and I was just like, that's so cool. So that's why I added the goodbye and the hello one. This is a good song. It's from a top finalist of American Idol. I could even push this here and then to take that, so he can't do anything. But I'm just gonna take this. Hey, Craze, what's up? I feel like it's been forever. I'm honestly considering streaming again, like, more often, because Jesus, I miss it. He's targeting my queen. Should I ignore him? If he goes there, I take. If he goes there, I take. If he goes there, I take. Nope. If he goes there, he takes me, so I'm just gonna take that. Oh, bruh! What is he playing with a freaking computer? That's easy. You're excited for chess club? Hey, nice. Finally in 5th grade. Very nice. I'll send some sound effects. You could choose some of that. I don't know much sound alerts that are funny in English, though. I was about to say, send me someone Mexican, then. But, But yeah, send me on Discord so I don't forget. How are you? How are you, Craze? I saw you were going live, like Twitter giveaway or something. I wasn't able to see too much of it, but bro, should I just check him because I can? You like that flute? All right, what do I do here? I want to hit this stupid queen. He's mad annoying, or she. Well, it is she. All right, I could do this. So good, I know, right? You have a test on Thursday? What is it on? It's on chess? Oh, it's on math. The biggest problem about you guys just spamming it, bro. I need to... Nah, but it's kind of... I like it. That's fine. He finally pushed. Am I stupid or is this guy retarded? We don't use that language here. Can't I just take the pawn? No, but then he pushes with the bishop attacking me. Who cares? I don't care. Yeah, I don't care. Add cooldown to them? I thought there was, but I still have only 15k. This is chess! What do you mean, what game is that? Chess it. Adding decimals and fractions. Is there a mobile version? There is. This is chess.com, but the mobile version is literally just called chess. It's green with a brown background, I think. Give me all your points. Listen to the world. But no one answered. Do you guys hear the music? Or I think Diego might have said something, but I can't check it right now. Okay, so this is what I expected. To be honest, I'm still attacking both of these nuts, which is nice. My king is in the line of fire. That's not good, right? We're gonna get out of the line of fire right here. Thinking about the day. This is nice because he can't take the pawn. Oh, I could take his pawn. Shit, no. Then I'm directly from the rook. I'm not paying attention. Oh, that's a great song that I had to learn for high school class. It's not. I mean, it's a nostalgic song. High school and we hear it. Oh, okay, cool. Do 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 do. Oh no 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 no. If I go here, it's literally the perfect move. It's like, no, it's not the perfect move. Yo no se manya. Bro, this guy's mad annoying. Just get the hell out of my face. You fascist. You fascist. What if I check you? And I say, get the hell out of here, bro. I don't know. Checking doesn't seem to do anything. I'm gonna do it anyway. This guy's kind of dumb. I feel. I don't know. He should have let me take, and then rook on the king. Se mañana, yo no sé mañana. That means I don't know of tomorrow. Spanish. Because this is in Spanish class. I learned this in Spanish. I had to learn this for Spanish class. And I listened to it, like, on repeat, like, a billion times. It was for a test, but really it's music, bro. It sounds nice. Yo no sé mañana. I'm thinking going like this. I'm such a noob at chess. Because now, look at this chain, bro. They call this a chain in chess. It's a boop, boop. Look at that. Boop and a boop. They can't do anything. If he takes, I take. This is not targeting my pawn anymore. Look at that. I changed up the whole freaking game, bro. What the hell? Yo, this guy's mad annoying. Yo no sé mañana. Yo no sé mañana. What if I just ignore it and I just go here? Now I'm hitting his bishop. There's no song request. Haha! Damn! Is your boyfriend okay? Time for FNUF torture? Nope! This is Spotify. Ah! I'm an idiot! This is what happens when I talk too much. This is literally my only move. This brings me strange memories of all my friends singing this. Oh, really? That's cool. Noping. I know! It's because y'all... It's not your fault. It's my fault. It's because of me. This bishop is... This horsey is doing nothing. I don't know what to do! Get my king closer. The good thing is his bishop's not doing anything. But my knight's not doing anything. Go. What I'm thinking now, I move this here, and then I check the king, and then I go here. Oh, that's such a brilliant move! If he lets me do all that. Don't move the horse? Well, obviously. Don't download Throne Kingdom of War. I'm not sponsored in it. Just kidding. Well, if you wanna, you can. I should take off that timer, though. It's like he knew what is he, sniping? Stream sniping me? What is this? Alright, we're gonna try it anyway. Well, we can't try it now. What am I saying? We're gonna try it anyway. When he doesn't see the maiden too. Shut up! You don't see any. I'm having painful poop river. I could smell it. If he takes, I take. He takes, I take. What was the point of that move? Or am I, like, stupid? Oh, he could check here, right? He could check there. I could just go here to counter that. Right? Look at this noob. Yeah, I got sponsored. I thought you knew. But the sponsor ended literally like today. It was for a week, and I've been playing the game actually. Me and Nathan and one of my friends, IRL. It's called Throne Kingdom at War. It was actually pretty fun. Stream elements. Let me just take off the timer. There we go. It's off. It was my second sponsor. Wait, it's my turn? No, it's that guy. It's his turn. I was like, I thought it was my turn. Alright, what was the plan again? I could still move my knight around. I could do this, and then... No. Well, I could do this. He take... What? Why is that so hard to do arrows? He takes, then I take, then he push it. No, he can't. He could push here with my pawn here, and then I go here, forcing him to move his queen, and I'm protecting the pawn. What? He goes here, I take. He goes here, I take. I'm confused. I'm just gonna go ahead with my plan. This, he takes, I take, he pushes, I go here. Say again? You got sponsored! Yeah, I got sponsored. But it ended today. So, yeah. And we go here. Sitting on this... No! What am I doing? I thought I could protect this piece. I'm an idiot. Oh! No. If I check and he takes, and then I check and he moves, understand? Then I could attack the queen. Yo! I don't know if this makes sense. Take it. I only have a minute and a half left. Watch this. Doctor's like, aw. He didn't take it! What a loser. Alright, well, I'm still gonna move here. Watch this clip. Don't tell me what to do. Yeah, I'll watch it after this game. Sorry, Doctor. Next time we get sponsored. Alright, now if the queen takes... So, now my plan, guys. If I push here... Do I force the queen out? No, because he could just take the pawn. But if I put the rook here and double the rooks, And then I put this rook here. I force the queen out. No, yeah. No, because then he just takes the pawn. Oh, queens are so powerful. I was about to say, thankfully he's thinking for so long. This is easy. I could just counter it like this. And that's what I'm gonna do. Oh yeah, that's fine. Oh my god, it's Ping Pong Masters! What's up, Blaster? Blaster blasts my ass off his... Blast, I don't know. Ha! You can't put oral cigarettes because it's on Spotify. Ha! I don't know why I did the wow. But I might put it later. Oh! What if I do this? He takes my rook, I take his rook, he takes my knight. That doesn't seem good. I'm getting clapped because I don't do good. I don't do good when I'm streaming. I just do this. No, then he checks me. Then I move out of the way. I have only 47 seconds left. I've been good, man. I haven't been streaming that much, which I'm kind of mad at myself for doing. So I think what I'm gonna end up... I think I'm gonna go back to streaming more. I've been editing a lot, though. Look, I pinned his bishop and his rook. What a noob. What a freaking noob. I have 43 seconds left. I am getting owned, but I'm gonna win now. Yeah, I'm streaming. No, I streamed last week. Boom! Give me it. Oh, well, that's kind of dumb, though. He just takes it back. And now I can't protect this pawn. I'm an idiot! I want to get into action here. He'll take that. I'll protect this. I only have 27 seconds, though. 27 seconds. Yeah, it was a dumb sacrifice. And I was... Yeah, I streamed last week. What if I attack? He take... I can't think. He takes, I can't take it! He take... Oh my god, what an asshole. I don't have time. Alright, well, how do you forfeit? It's so hard to play this game while looking at chat. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't been able to work because of the Rona. Really? I should be good Monday, though. Sheesh, how long were you not able to work? Lose like a man. No. You want a verse, Diego? I'll die fighting on stream. I'll be like 8 years old, I'll just die. It's been like 3 weeks. You haven't worked in 3 weeks? Sheesh. I streamed last week, though, by the way. Oh, yeah, watch clip. I did, to be honest, I did completely forget about that. Oh, yeah, I smelled his poop, bro. What's wrong with that? You have something against poop, Diego? That's kind of sexist. I know what I do here, bro. I know what I do here. How's your video doing on YouTube, Blaster, by the way? So you're playing, Diego? It's sus. It's just natural. Aqua! That's the first time I don't see you in aqua colors. I will return later tonight. Okay. I've been good. How are you? How have you been? It's proper English right there. Not how are you, how have you been? Wow. I'll see you later then. Are you winning, son? Not really. Not really. But what's up, Cashew? I hope you've been eating a lot of cashews. I like your purple look. Is someone versing me? Diego, are you versing me? You have 7 seconds. I had to change my color because someone else had it. I have to stand out. Now everyone's gonna change to green. Oh my god, I have so many I have more friends here than in real life. This is cool. Look at that. Send link? What link? Add me as a friend. No? How do you add as friend? I forgot. You go to home. You go to home. You go to play a friend. Yes, I know I lost. You go to find friends. You go to Ping Pong Masters. And then you press add friend. Unless you're saying you don't want to be friends and you want me to just send a link. I don't know how to do that. Oh, here, challenge link. Alright, you asked for it, Diego. Whoever presses that first gets to play with me. That's what she said, but that's not what I mean. I mean like chess. I was gonna do a challenge today, but then I didn't feel like it. And I felt like we didn't have a chill day in a while. Diego, you're 800. Cringe. Oh no, that's because you're signed in as a guest. I'm gonna do my my 10,000 IQ strats. I don't even know if this is Diego because anyone could have. Oh, it is. Okay. Oh my god, what a noob! Who takes out their rook first move? Up for my bets in the future. Nice. I'm honestly nub. I'm a lose. You know what? I know because I'm a pro player, so that doesn't surprise me. Just kidding. Oh my god, you gave me your rook. I didn't even see that. Well, I'm a bigger nub. I'm still waiting on those mod debates. I know. I'm sorry. I'm all over the place in life and in... Well, no, not in life. I've been getting better in life. I've been, what am I doing? No. Oh, you saw it. Well, whatever. Yeah, I gotta set up the mod debates. I'm trying, like, did you check out the YouTube lately? I've been editing a lot, so I'm trying to put it 1 to 2 videos a week out. But I want to get back into streaming as well. And I've been doing Uber Eats. I'm trying to keep myself a lot more busy with stuff. And I'm trying to be smarter with streaming, but I want to go back to streaming more often because it's fun. Diego playing the Yorkshire Gambit. I know. Like, if he was playing the Yorkshire, it would be a different story. But, like, the Yorkshire just doesn't make sense. The mod debates. What I want to do soon is I want to do a Mario Kart tournament with streamers that are affiliated. And they have to... they have to be affiliated so we could gift each other subs. I think it would be fun. Let's do that. Wait, like 5.5 weeks on the mod debate. Listen. Yes, I'm very slow, but I eventually do a lot of things that I say I'm gonna do. But I'm very slow. Connor told me to add on to your list of projects. Oh, really? Oh, that sounds cool. Oh, attacking my knight. I was gonna put my other knight here, but now I can't. So I'll just do that. I will return for that. Oh, okay. See ya, Aqua. See ya later. Wait, why'd you do that? My queen takes it. Oh, you're doing Queen's Gambit. Gotcha. You must have watched the show. Damn it, this is like 10,000 IQ, bro. This is like billion IQ right here. I just wanted to use that thing. I just meant 5.5 weeks, so I'd be 18. Oh, you're saying... Oh, I see what you're saying. I thought you're saying we've been waiting for 5 months for it. That makes more sense. Let's check you. Wait, you're 18 in 5.5 weeks? Oh my god, it's already September. Wait, your birthday's in October? When's your birthday again? I don't remember birthdays. I wrote it down on my. Wait, you never told me your birthday, right? Let's see. Let's see what I could do here. If I do this, then I do this, and then I do this and this. This is Hikaru Nakamura, Grandmaster. This is how he plays. And then I do this, and then he does that, and then he does that, and he could do... Oh my god. He did that? And then I could do this, and then take that, and then take... And then go here, and then take that, and then take that, and then take that. Damn it! Now I can't do that. Let's go here. I'm ruining my structure, but I'm gonna get forward. Check out my latest video. It's Jump King. It's pretty awesome. Let's see. Wait, can I checkmate you? If I go here, oh no, you could just block it. Oh, you could do that. Okay, this is cool because look what I could do. Wait, that doesn't make sense. Ah, oh wait, I can't do that. Are you juking me? Is he actually a grandmaster and he's just playing around with me? Yeah, bro. Did you see the Jump Kings video? I was saying that I might play Jump King today, and early. That was much earlier on. And I also said that, yeah, I put a Jump King video on YouTube that I worked many hours on editing. It still could have been edited much better, but I got 22 and a half hours down to 18 minutes. So that's not bad. What can I do here? I want to get rid of that pawn. It's so annoying. I love how my rooks have not even moved yet. I did. I thought you were a god. Oh yeah, you did watch it. Yeah, you commented on it. You said Jump King map 2. Getting up to Bargenberg in 12 minutes. Then you said you had played before. Wait. What? I didn't get up in 12 minutes. Oh, you're saying 12 minutes of the video? Oh, you're like making a joke? It's so hard to catch sarcasm from comments. Oh, it's my turn. I could check here. Ooh, I don't want to do that. I'm just gonna move here. You were at Bargenberg in 12 minutes in game time? Oh yeah, I did play before, yeah. I played probably like how much did I play? Does anyone remember of Jump King before doing that crazy stream? Ooh, that was cool. Ooh, that was really cool. I almost lost it. Ooh, is this checkmate? No, it's not. Can I just do that? And now I get your knight for free, no? Yeah, I was able to traverse Bargensberg pretty quickly. But it took me a while to get to that point. Ooh, even better. Oh, that's checkmate? I didn't. I literally just thought I'll capture this, check. He'll be forced to move, and then I'll just. Oh no! And then I'll just take this. Wait, why is it checkmate? You can't move here. Can't move here. Can't. Oh my god, that was brilliant. Good job, ping pong boosters. I had 0 mistakes. This doesn't happen often, bro. Diego, this doesn't happen often. I took chess classes. Fun fact, so did I. Rematch. You went off? Wow. I paid 0 attention. I took chess classes when I was younger, and then I sucked at chess when I started playing recently. But I got really into it, and I've been like getting better. I could tell you guys how I think through games. Not like I'm that good, but like if we verse a computer, like if we verse here, we'll verse Natasha. No, Natasha is too strong. We'll verse. Here, if we verse Natasha, look, boom. Yo, boom. No. Boom. Yeah, Natasha didn't see that coming. Yeah, Natasha. I'm gonna put this here. He's gonna put this here. I knew it. Am I a freaking bot? How did I know that? I don't want to take here. I'm just gonna force his pace to come out. Possibly. I don't even know. Let's go here. Now I know not to enclose my bishops, though. What? Why would you do that? Oh. I'm stupid. Now my queen is trapped. Baby, I love your way. Every way, yay. If I go here, he attacks with the pawn again. Then I go here. That should work. And I just go here. What if I go here? Tonight. Oh, yeah, that's a perfect move. It protects this pawn and it... Ah! That move sucks! Oh, it's not that bad. I could just put this there. Now he goes back to this. Ooh, baby, I love the way. Yo, should I check with them? Oh my god. Am I gonna draw? Oh, never mind. I was like, am I gonna draw a 2000? Level 2000 is like a master level. Ping, in this Naruto game, I just got an S rank Rock Lee and an S rank Sai. Nice. Plux is alive! Plux is alive! He isn't? Okay, good. A rank Hinata and Neji. Nice. You gotta get S rank Kakashi and then I respect you. Kakashi is my baby. I don't want to do this. What if I just go here? No. If I just go here. Ah! Oh yeah, he could just take it. Wait, that was really dumb. Oh my god! Why'd I do that? Okay, I lost here. Because if he takes... Well, he won't take. But he... Wait, he could take... This is the only piece he could take. So I gotta get this here to be pushing this. Ugh. Computers don't even think, bro. What if I go here? Ooh! Ooh! Oh, no, wait. Then he just takes it. I'm just gonna go back. Oh, no, then he takes it. Oh, my God. Now he's gonna come here. Oh, no. Okay. Alright, I'm forced to go here. I should have done that earlier. I am a nub. But it's because I'm not thinking much, alright? I'm trying to play without thinking much, okay? La-di-da. What if I attack this? That seems really dumb, but I kind of want to do it. Ooh, baby, I love the way every day, every day. Oh my god! Oh, no. I thought I could go here, check him, and then take, or her, and take her queen. My Naruto, Sai, Konohamaru, and Reckler level 40. Kakashi super rare? Of course Kakashi super rare, because he's literally the best character. Alright, I'm gonna move this here. He stopped me from doing my plan. Frickin' fascist. I'll just try it. Oh, this guy's so annoying. Baby, I love you, me. Every day, every day. I don't know what to do here. I think I'm losing really bad. Oh, you don't say? Yeah, I know, but still. This rook is doing nothing. What if we're like, Shio, and we get him into the party? We just go here. If he takes, I just... Oh, okay. We just go here. And then... This is like good protection. Like when you don't wanna have a kid type of protection, but I definitely lost this game. Okay. Basically, if I take, it opens up his queen to like check my king. I could move my king away, but then he just takes that. Oh my god, I don't want to trade this because I'm losing. They say not to trade pieces when you're losing. Whatever. Take good care of her. Why, thank you. Oh my god, what a bit. What if I just go here and I just ignore everything? You just gave me a free piece. Oh, shit. Wait, no, that's good. If he takes, I just take the... What? Monkey do good, no? Am I missing something? I feel like I'm doing really good now. If I just move this here... Oh! He could take it. I don't know how to draw lines. Oh my god. Alright, let's move this here then. Oh, I'm gonna get checkmated. I almost didn't see that. Imagine I didn't see that, guys. I'm such a brilliant, like, player sometimes. There, if he checks me, I just go here. What a loser! He thought I would take... I'm gonna just take your piece. Oh no, but then he takes my piece. No, he won't take it because I'm protecting it. Add the counter. I'll add it. Give me a second. Yo, this piece is so annoying. What if I come here? Oh my god. Oh no. Ah! Wrong move! Wrong move! No, I didn't mean to place it down. I thought that's where it originally was. I swear to God, I didn't mean to do that. I was just seeing where the knight could go. That's so... I was winning. That's so dumb. I was actually winning that. No, we were even. Oh my god, bro. That deserves IQ minus. Let me get the IQ in. Where's IQ? Where's IQ? Oh, here it is. Oh, it's so low. I'll put music that you guys can put. This song is not... I didn't mean to do that, bro. That is so dumb. I did not mean to do that. Oh my god. I never play on computer. I always play on my phone. Alright, these are the two songs requested this stream. I wish I was good enough to be Jewish. Wait. Okay, is it too loud? Tell me if it's too loud, guys. I don't know about winning. You're already down a piece. No, I wasn't. We were equal. Bro, we were equal. Look. It's literally equal. We were equal, and look. He couldn't go here because of my rook. He couldn't go here because of my... Oh, no. He could have gone here. He couldn't have gone here because of my rook. Here because of the pawns. 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 He was forced to push back. He was forced to push... Oh my god, that looked like the Nazi thing, bro. Oh, Jesus. What games do you plan on playing now? Whatever the hell I want to play. That's what I plan on playing. I literally would have... And now this is... So dumb, bro. So dumb. So dumb. I was literally like... I think I was in a winning position, to be honest. What if I just go here? No, that doesn't make sense. I don't know what to do. I think I lost because of that. I'm so mad at myself. This is so my bishop could get out. Ping, a big lightning bolt near it never rains here. I'm scared. I hate this. Bro, tell it to just go away and you should be good. Wait, if I go here, that's dumb. Check Discord for meme. Don't tell me how to live my life. Shit, that was dumb. Oh! Oh no, I can't do that. Oh! I just came back with that move. Let me not screw that up again. He's gonna take that pawn. Or not. What if I just ignore and I go towards the end? Ah! Pixel art is a... Damn it, yeah. Pixel art is a doozy. Pixels per screen, X equals 3 for background, foreground, and midground plus masks. Why, have you been doing... I love this song. Have you been doing pixel art? I lost. Oh, he's gonna take my pawn. That was so dumb. Oh! Do I have a chance? Ah! Why is he so smart? Shit. I can't tell if this is genius or retarded. Oh my god, this guy's a genius! No way. Oh my god. If I go here, basically he could take my pawn, then I take his rook, and then he runs away. I have to do pixel art for every screen platform? Oh, I was like, why are you talking about pixel art? That makes sense. What if I go here now? Ooh! Huh? Oh. You know what though? I want to see if I was in a winning position where my mouse clicks slipped. 172,800 pixels per screen. Background, foreground, and midground. Is there no software that could make it easier? We were even in the beginning. Ooh. Wait, where did my mouse slip? Oh, it was way past this. I somehow got rid of his queen though. Look, I somehow came back. Yeah, so this is where it screwed up. Bro, I told you guys, I was freaking even. I was literally even. And then my mouse slipped. Well, I'm gonna say. I don't know why I'm yelling. How did you know I watched Pink? What the hell? I like this. I like this a lot. You should put it on the Pong Reddit. I mean, I have fill tool obviously, but shading and color selecting and shaping is all manual. Damn. At least there's a lot of creativity that's involved in that, you know. So let's see what I would have done if I had more time, like more time to think about this, or like I didn't, my mouse didn't slip. Because I was looking like, okay, he could go here, but he wouldn't. He wouldn't go here. He wouldn't go here or here. So his only chances, if I push this knight, is to go back here, and not back here. Oh yeah, and back here. Or push my rook with this move. Let's see. Well, I guess I can't see what he would have done. She would have done. Oh, well, this wasn't a good move apparently. Whatever. I don't care. I'm playing a real person now. If anyone wants to play, you're more than welcome to. I'm Ping Pong Moosters. I'll put the link actually. I didn't realize I could just put a link so easily. Oh my god. If you win, I'll write a song for you, whoever challenges me. Ooh. Ooh, how about that? Since everyone is so scared. Just kidding. Alright, I'll just play myself. Boom! Oh. Okay. Great, I rank 1,004. Why? Why are you ranked so high? I'll play one a little later. I'll definitely lose though. Okay. Okay. Who cares, bro? I lose half the games I play. Literally half. I think around half. But, yeah. Alright, if I take, he takes, and I take, and then he gets his queen out. Or, I could just ignore it and attack the knight. He goes here. Or he... Wait, if he goes here, I just take, and then he takes. And then I push, and then he takes. And then I take. That actually seems like the best choice. Wait, I forgot. If I go here, he goes here. Yeah. Let's do that. That was actually mad brilliant by me. Unless he just does a completely different move. No, he has to get his knight out of danger. Or push one of my pieces. But he could have done this also, I guess. So I take, he takes. Wait, this is not what I envisioned in my head. Why is it not? Oh no, it is. He takes, I put this here. He takes, I take, and he can't take. Or he goes forward, but that would be dumb. So if he takes, I take. Easy game, baby. Easy. Now he's attacking this, right? So I could protect it, but then he'll push this out, and then I push this back. And that actually works. So if he pushes this, I just push this back. If he goes here, I didn't think about that. I should probably put the knight here if I can, to attack the bishop. The knight. Yeah, if he goes here, I'll probably put this here. Right? If he goes here, I put this here to attack it. If he goes here, then I'll just deal with it later. Yeah, I think I'm gonna put the knight out. Oh my god, he didn't do it. Okay, so now he's probably putting this out to put more pressure on this, you see? So I could help this boy by just doing this normally. This actually helps me, I'm stupid. It's better than this. Okay. Let's do that. What a weird game. What if I do this and I just trade? I feel like I have a better position even though I have no idea if I do. Now I could move the knight here and force a trade of knights. I'm feeling pretty good about this, actually. So this does nothing. This actually does literally nothing. This is. I feel like that was the worst move he could. Oh, never mind. I see what he was doing. Now I'm just gonna do this and push there, though. Now bishop, get the hell out of here, bro. He's gonna put it. That's it. He lost this pawn. Stupid. This. That's it. He lost the pawn. He has no moves. He lost the pawn no matter what he does. So now I could do this. And that was dumb putting it here because now I'm still hitting it. Right? And now I could take... Ah! I could take this pawn or this pawn. And he's trying to checkmate me. He thinks I'm stupid, bro. He thinks I don't see the checkmate. Of course I see it! I'm a grandmaster. The reason I moved it there also is because this guy is on the dark spots. So the pawns are in the way, basically. And he can't attack my king. But look, that did nothing. Now he could move his bishop out of the way. But then I could just take his pawn. And if he moves his pawn forward, I take, he takes, and then I take his bishop. So I'm winning, I think. Okay, yeah. Sheesh! That was actually an easier game than I anticipated. The guy played so weird. Or the girl. Or whatever, you know? This is book moves. Okay, so that wasn't the best move I could have done, apparently. I wonder why. Is it because trading is, like, looked down upon? I don't know what else I could have done here, to be honest. I could have just ignored it, maybe. Yeah, that's like, what the hell are you doing? It's supposed to hint to me what the best move is. The heck? I don't remember how it does that. Oh, there it is. It's saying to go like this. And then he'll just take like that. And then what? I take like that? Oh, I see. So this is better. For some reason. Oh, because he could have ignored that and just gone forward? And what? Why was that better? Whatever, I don't care. Where did I screw up? Where did I screw up? Oh. So apparently this, I almost won the game. And I just freaking am too stupid. Maybe this? Yeah, no. Oh. Oh, I'm stupid. This forces him out right away. Because... But then he could go here. And then I get it. Oh, okay, okay. It forces him out faster, basically. It's cool to analyze. I've been so, like, obsessed with chess lately. That means it was a forced move, I think. Yeah, and then he realized he lost. Hell yeah, baby. First win on stream. 1 out of 1. Can we get some IQ pluses? Play. Yeah, we'll play online again for now, I suppose. Ooh. Please go king e4. Pawn e4 is it called, right? Please do that. Please, please do that. Ah! I have one strategy that I learned online. And I just want to do that strategy. See, the queen could come out now. If I go here, the queen could check, and that just gets annoying, so I'm just gonna do that. I'll probably take out the knight before pushing the pawn. Yeah, so now he could get his knight out to attack. If he attacks... If he attacks, I'm just gonna cry. Oh, I could... No, that's really dumb. That's actually really dumb. I'm gonna hope he doesn't attack and ruin everything. Oh, he didn't! Okay. So now my plan is this. He takes, I take, he takes, Never mind. My plan doesn't work. What an annoying guy. What if I just ignore that completely and I just go here? Now his bishop is doing nothing. Let's go. Alright. Take this out, pin the knight. Wait, if... No. Now I don't want to pin it. If I go here and he attacks, then I go... Huh? Wait, I actually don't know. Do I just go back here? Do I just go back here? I think that's my only move. I want to do this next move. This guy's so annoying. See, now I can't do that because he could just take with the knight. I want to ruin his... I want to ruin his pawns. Maybe I'll just get this out already. Oh my god, that move is so annoying. It actually doesn't let me get that piece out. I'll put this here. The reason for putting this here is so that I don't trap it by putting the pawn here, because then I won't be able to get out. And now, I could also castle, but... I don't know. I want to do this. Now I could take this bishop out. What? Oh my god. So if I go here... This knight... Oh, I could go here. And force the trade. Oh my god, that's actually brilliant. And I just go here, and he's kind of forced to take, and then I just take. Because this is the biggest piece that's very... One of the most annoying pieces right now. I can't push this, because if he takes, and I take, then he takes. I can't take with my queen, because then he takes with the bishop. Does he not see it? Or he's... I know what he's doing. Oh, it's a check, too! I didn't even realize. I'm so stupid. He's not taking. What an asshole. I guess he could just do that. Now what do I do? Ooh, I don't know what to do. I think I have to move these pieces now. I think I'm kind of forced to move these pieces now. You might be saying, what are you talking about, Ping Pong Moosters? But I think I have to. Or I could do this. He takes. I want this piece to survive. So my plan, find the fork. Yeah, I see a fork where I could take this and fork his queen, but his rook could take me. So I have to get this knight here so he could protect this knight. But I can't get this knight here. Because then he could just take it. Ah, I had a plan. Oh yeah, so now I'm just going to concentrate on this because I think he's going to push this soon. I'm actually going to go here. So if he goes here, I just take. If I take, he takes, I take, he takes. Oh my god, I'm forced to move back. Then he takes what? I take this. Your bishop protected the knight, you were fine. The bishop doesn't protect the knight. Bro, if I put the knight here, it blocks the bishop. So he could just take it. Oh, and then I take this. And I check, but then he just takes it. No, that doesn't make sense. You're not dumb, bro. But come on, that's just common sense. No, it's not common sense. This is the move I was a bit scared of. So, I can take, but then he takes. Or he just takes my queen. But I could take. That is a possibility. To break up his pawns. But it doesn't really break them up. Because they're still attacking me, and it hurts when they attack. Or I could just ignore it. No, I can't. The only move I have is to push here. So this guy doesn't die. So I either have that or I exchange. I'm gonna exchange. What? Oh, I'm an idiot! This was protecting that! Whatever, he's forced to take that. I could run away now. See, if I do this, right, and he takes, then I take, and he takes, and then I just take. So I'm gonna go here. The nice thing about this is this protects that too, but he gets a free pawn out of it. That's actually dumb. I didn't look at it. He gets a free pawn at the end of the day. Huh? He didn't do it. What a stupid. All right. I mean, that's better for me. Now I could protect this guy by pushing this here probably. Why would he push this here? Oh, to put his double pawns? Yeah, I don't care about his double pawns. So now if I put this here and he takes, then I take, and he takes, then I take. So it doesn't matter. I'll just put this here. Lion. The cool thing is, I could even, like... Okay, so he wants to move here and be annoying. So how do I stop him from being annoying? I blocked my only two moves that could... Oh, no, wait. I could just put this here. So now I'm scared. He actually blocked off his bishop. I don't know if that was a good move. So he moved that way. So he could take, then I just take. He could go here. That's actually a bit annoying. But I could just put this right now here. He could go here, I take. But then if I put this here, then he'll go here, then I just take. Then he goes here. Then I'm... Wait. If I go here... No, that doesn't make sense. If I go here, and then he goes here, and then I go here, and then he goes here, and then I... Oh, no. And then I go here, and then he goes here, and then I go here. Okay. I think this move is fine, then. And then I could just take his knight. He has no other move. Actually, he does. He could check me. Damn it, he could check me. And then I take and he takes. And then I could just move here. Yeah. So if I take, he takes, then I go here. He can't take the next one because then I take, he takes, and then I take. This is fine. Thankfully, I got these pawns to work together. He just runs back. What a loser. The cool thing here is that I could move this here and then here. No, that doesn't make sense. Here and then here, and then attack both of these pieces. Here and then here. Because if I move the knight away and he attacks the rook, then I just take and then he takes and then I take. I don't have much time, so I'm going to stop thinking. He might push with the pawn, in which case I don't care. Actually, if he pushes with the pawn, I might even just go here. I'm an idiot. Okay, it's not the worst thing. If he takes up... Ugh. That is annoying, though. I didn't realize I'm pinned. I'm gonna assume he's gonna take. I only have 2.5 minutes. I'm thinking way too long. I really hope he doesn't take, to be honest. I don't like how I'm pinned, but I can't do anything about it. Because the king has to be next to the rook, so I don't lose it. Or I could just ignore it and just, like, go a different way. I could literally, like, go here or something. And attack that. I feel like he should kill my knight. Whoa! Alright, now I think he's trying to be clever, right? Because if I move this here, then he just checks me. Because he just moves this forward and it's a check. And I'm forced to move. And I pretty much lose the game. So I'm just going to take this. He didn't expect that. Now he's forced to take. And then I just come here. And the knight is like one of the most annoying pieces because you could just keep moving it. Like you could legit just be like boop 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 and just move it forever. So. Ooh, interesting. I don't want my king to be a target. I'm just gonna do this. If he goes here, I'll go here. I don't have much time to think. Actually, yeah. He's trying to push this, so I take, then he takes, then I take, and he takes. Like I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna close the position. What an idiot. The whole point of closing it is that now this bishop can't do anything here. He literally trapped himself. He can't take either of these pieces, and now I could even push this piece all the way. The only way for him to take this is for his rook to get here. And I could stop that by putting my... Oh, well, now I can't. Alright, this is my only choice. So if he moves, I take, then he takes, then I go here. Or like here. Yeah, so now I don't want to take, but I'll take. Then he'll take. Cool thing here is that I could even go here. And, I don't know if that was good. I might actually start pushing here. This rook is doing nothing, though, as well as his rook. I could push this rook here, so forcing him to not be able to push his. Okay. Expected. Now if he pushes here, I just go here. I think. If he pushes... Oh, he didn't. Okay. I'll push here. Oh! Oh, no. Never mind. The cool thing here... So he wants to check me. Alright? To take my piece. I'm just gonna hide my piece. That's it. He can't check me. Now if he goes here to attack this... Which he does... I can literally just protect it. The nice thing is, most of my pieces are in white squares also. So he can't do anything, look. I want him to move this forward. Huh? Shit. No, 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 no! I lost. I saw it literally a second after. I lost. I didn't see it. I was scared of the time. I literally saw it a second later. God damn my life, bro. Oh my god. I'm just gonna check him. I'll try to go for this. See, this bishop is useless. All my pawns... I could have won this game so well. I could have won it so well. I keep screwing up, bro. So now I'm just gonna check him again. Then I'm gonna do something like that. I'm just gonna keep harassing this bishop. I'm gonna run out of the ability to do it, but... Oh, I'm such an idiot. This doesn't harass it. Because he just takes it like that. Okay, now I definitely lost. Now he takes. Yo. No, he moved his rook. Damn you, you fascist! Please stalemate. Wait, let me try to stalemate this. Let me try to stalemate this. I'm checkmate, right? Wait, is that stalemate? It's not. I'm gonna use these pawns for protection. Oh, I ran out of time! No! I was... Okay. I blundered a lot. I think I was doing decent at a certain point here. By the way, song requests are on. Oh, he had this stupid opening. I didn't even know how to handle it. Apparently I screwed up there. He knew exactly what to do, like a freaking computer, until a certain point. Wow, it was going back and forth. Alright, so that move was really bad, apparently. What should I have done here? They're saying I should have checked, which would either put this here, right? In which case I, exchange? To force his king out? And then what? I could, like, get this out? No. Oh, put this here so he can't attack it because then I'm protecting it. Well, that's not what I did. There's so many question marks. The whole thing is like, what are you doing? The whole game's like, what are you doing? Oh, so here I should have attacked his rook and forced him to, like, move. And he can't hit this because of my pawn. He can't hit this pawn because of this pawn. He can't take because then I take and he takes, and that's the exchange. Oh, I eventually did it, though. I was winning here. Oh my god, look how much I was winning by. I was gonna win, like, right away. So what did I screw up here? I'm assuming I put this knight here. Is this the right move? Yeah. Let's see what I actually did. Why'd I take it with the pawn? Whatever, I'm still winning. Yo, this guy is actually losing here. Look at him. He's literally... Oh my god, he's, like, about to lose. Why, though? That's the biggest question in this game. Is it because of this? No, that doesn't make sense. This? Why this? Sometimes it's hard. It's hard to understand the freaking computer. It's so hard to understand. And it just moves closer to me. Like, this is what they're saying I should have done. What, do I put this here? Oh! It's pinned. I could attack both. Okay. Assuming he puts his bishop there. Yeah, but this is the way that the game actually went. Oh my god, this game went back and forth like 30 times. Because we're both dumb. Okay, this was literally... I just lost the game. I lost the game by going there. Because I forgot this is a discover check. Which means next move, by moving a different piece, I get in check. Because then I saw it literally a second after I moved the piece there. This was the perfect... Jesus, yeah, well... That's twice already I screwed up. I'm gonna play... I want to play with you guys, but if no one wants to play, I'll play like a few more games, and then we might go to Jump King for a bit. Because I haven't opened that game in since the 24-hour stream, I think. No. I tried it a bit afterwards, just to see if I was a beast, and I was disappointed in myself. But yeah. I'll just play again. Please go king. No one wants to give me the king. Bro, these people know exactly what moves they want to play. Like, he's gonna move this now. Oh, now he wants to put the queen. I'll play the next one? Okay. So sweet there. Uh, he wants to check my thing somehow. I'm assuming he's gonna move this. I don't know what to do here. I want to move this forward. But then he takes, I take, he takes. Maybe if I move this. And then next move this. Yep. Take. Ha, stupid! He didn't see it. This bishop is screwed. His stupid plan didn't work. Yep. Go back. Go back, bro! Get out of here! Look at this loser. The biggest problem with this is I'm very open. Oh, now he could take this pawn for free with the queen. I didn't see that. Huh? I mean, my structure is... Yeah. But he just gave me a... Did I see that wrong? Am I blind? See something, say something? Did he mess up? Oh my god, I just realized something so sexy. I move this here to attack this, right? And then I move here. Oh my god, he did it for me. What a stupid. Look. Check. And then I just take his bishop. Let's go. Oh no. Yeah. Then I just take his bishop. Tsuite. Oh, never mind. Sometimes it's not so simple, huh? I'll just move this here. Get the hell out of my face! Is what I'm telling this boy right here. Alright, he can't do this because of this. He can't do anything. He can't check my king either. Well, he could do that, I guess. Problem with that is, I could check him now. He's forced to take or to move. Right? I could literally check him again. And now I could take this or this. But you know what's even sexier? He's gonna resign, I think. Oh, he doesn't resign. I could take this, attacking his queen. Okay? Not even taking this. And now he's gonna move his queen, maybe to check. And then I just block it. Or like I block it with my bishop. No, I'll probably go with the bishop because it's attacking. Right? If he goes here, it's attacking. Yep. Boom. Easy. Still attacking. You can't do anything. And I'm gonna get this rook. Yeah. I'm a freaking genius! I'm not a genius. I'm versing someone my level, that's why. I feel like if I really concentrate, my level is around 1,000. And if I play like without thinking too much, it's like around a little lower than 1,000. Like, he should resign at this point. Like, I'm literally... He can't check... Yeah. Hell yeah! Look at me doing awesome. That was good from the beginning, I think. Let's see. Okay, so I messed up that move. I thought this was a really good move. I thought that was a really good move. They're telling me this to attack the queen. Oh, and it protects my pawn. Oh, that would have been much better, actually, yeah. It just goes to show you have to always look around in this game. Alright, you said you would play the next one, Doctor? I got you, bro. Hey, what do you guys think of me playing I'm gonna move this here. If he moves there, I move there. If he moves there, yeah. I like this move. I'll explain why I did it too. So now I could take, he takes. I don't like this move anymore. Go here. I'll go here. He has 2 pawns in the middle, which isn't good. I could take now, though. Yeah, so now I'm gonna take. I feel like this knight is way too far away from me to do any damage. I could be completely off, though. I wanted to basically get the bishop out there so I could early castle. But now I feel like I can't. The good thing is all his pieces, like all his pawns are like out over here. And his like king is like kind of screwed. Or at least it seems like that. I don't really want to do this move. And the reason I don't is because now I feel like the knight can come here. And there's nothing, like, I could threaten it with that. But I don't want to threaten it with that. Queen. Now his queen can check like that, right? So I'm going to preemptively protect my queen. My thing. Oh, no, wait. He takes, I take, then he takes, and it's a check. So there's 2 threats here. I'll deal with this one like that. This is also good because... Nope, that's not good. He could still put his knight there. Wait, I'm so stupid. I just realized this whole time I could have just taken... Oh, no, I can't because of this. What if I just ignore it and I just take this? Then I feel like I'm helping him. I could put this here. Ugh. Alright, well, I'll do the same thing then. Yeah. That's a Naruto song. Okay, I see what you're doing. It's really annoying. Why is the next song not playing? It's blocked. Great. Let's go. Let's go here. I could just get rid of the stupid knight here also, but not yet. I'm gonna push this here to put this here. Ooh, that looks good. Yeah, let's do that. I will take here. You're out of sight, out of sight. Hold me tight, hold me tight. Oh no, that looks really stupid. You could just take it. I wonder if I could checkmate? I feel like so much there. Is that I love you, babe? Ooh, moving pawns in front of your king. Isn't that, like, regarded as bad? Alright, what if I push this knight here now? I could alternatively take. He takes, I take. Then he takes, I take, he takes, I take, he takes, I take. Wait, is this a better move? Because he takes, I take, he takes, I take, he takes, I take, he takes, I take. Yeah, okay, this is winning. I think. I love how I say this is winning, like I know. But, like, it seems like it's a good move to me. Doctor, I feel like you're around my level. Well, depending on how the game goes, I guess. We'll see, but... Oh, I love you, babe. Ooh, a good move I'm thinking of now is to push this pawn forward, get this bishop on this diagonal, get the queen on that diagonal, and then it's like checkmate. Oh, well, not anymore. Okay, now I got your queen. I think you screwed up there. And now I have no reason not to trade everything because I'm winning. So I'm gonna take this. And if you take, then I'll take this. I'll have to. I don't know what to do next. My rooks could come in now. Like, okay. Alright, I'll just attack this. He can't take because I take. This rook is doing nothing. This bishop has no targets. Hey, I need you. Actually, this knight can't even move. This knight can't move. Yeah, I'll trade. Because it was pinning the king. Now I could do another very sexy thing by putting this here. That might lose me the game, actually. I think. Because then he could just push this out and kill me. Ha 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 ha. Come yo. No, I could have done another discover check by pinning the... Not discover check, but I could have pinned the rook to the king. I probably will do that. My next move, I'm thinking to go here. So I just attack everything. I don't know. The thing is going... Oh. I almost took it with my queen by accident. Let's go here. The nice thing about this move is it also... First of all, this bishop can't go here. Because I take and he can't even... Well, he could take with the rook. Never mind. That's actually really good. I didn't even realize that this is pinned. That was a really good move. Probably a really good move. I don't know. Ooh, I'm such a brilliant person sometimes. I'll just go here. Or I just checkmated myself. No, I didn't checkmate myself. He takes... And then I checkmate, I think? Bro, if you take with your bishop, I think you lose the game. Because then I take... You can't take because of my rook. Oh no, it's not checkmate. But it's like, it's pretty much checkmate. Because then you're forced to go... Oh no, you could go here. Never mind. But then I get your rook, basically. Now, if you attack now... If you attack now, then I just get the rook. Like, I just get a free rook. Oh my god, that was actually a brilliant move, no? I wonder what you could have done to get out of that. If there is a way to get out of that. I just noticed another thing. I didn't need my rook here. I'm so stupid. No, that's not true. I do need it here. But... I could pin... This is so good. This just gives me your bishop for free. Better yet, I could take this. Check you. Force you to get out of the way, and then take your bishop. Right? You're forced to go here. Yeah. And then I just get your bishop. Actually... Yeah. Hey, don't resign. Wow, I played really well there, apparently. That was a good game, though. That was bad? Nah, I don't know. I feel like it was a good game. Let's see. Let's see, like, it was pretty... Never mind. I messed up, too, you see, with this bishop. They were telling me to do this. Oh, I didn't even realize that this is a check. Which would force this here, or your bishop here. And then I just take your rook. Oh my god, that would have been so nasty. That would have been so nasty. That would have been so nasty. I didn't even see that. Oh my god. Yeah, I was winning majority of that game, apparently. Once I got your queen, it was... It was much harder. I think my next move, like if let's say it would have, I don't know, we would have done that. I think, oh, I guess they're saying best would be this. What would I do? I don't even know actually. Maybe like that. So that I could get checkmate here. And let's say move no. Sorry, I'm just curious what would happen here. So let's say I take. You take, then I take. Checkmate. That's checkmate. Wait, what? That's not checkmate? That is checkmate. Why is it showing like it's not checkmate? Yeah. Okay, so it would have been checkmate anyway. Sheesh. Alright, let's try a bit of Jump King. Just a tiny bit, okay? The game, like, exploded in popularity, right? Look at all these. Every time I do a new one, it just opens a new thing. Games. I'm not gonna play it for long, to be honest. I'll play a bit though. Ooh, there's an update. It's much harder to have the energy to stream like 8 hours like I used to when I edit all day too. I mean, I guess that's just logic. That just makes sense. Wait, what happened to my background? Why is the green screen showing? Oh, it's because no one... Where's Jump King? Oh, there it is. Like, why'd it go on the... I don't want it here. Oh my god. How do I... Oh my god. It's on the wrong screen. Give me a second. I gotta move everything over. Browser big. Let's go Jump King. What's going on with the green screen? Alright, anyway. I gotta try the other babes. You need to get good so you can play my map someday? 2 big streamers have been the new one. Bro, I don't think Sacrifice Crown? Wait, what? What is this? I don't want to sacrifice... Keep your crown and find your own way to the other world. Oh... Yeah, I'll find my own way. I think I know how to get there anyway. Bro, I don't think I'll ever get that good, man. Let's be honest. Yeah, it's good I clicked the Romana King. Ooh, the birds are different here. Oh, is it telling me which way to go? Am I a beast? Oh my god, I'm a beast! I literally haven't played this one. You just need to follow the white bird? That's what I figured, yeah. See, I'm smart sometimes. Bad jump, bad jump. Okay, that was bad. That was bad. Yeah, I changed the category, right? Yeah. Ah! Oh my god, I forgot how annoying this game is. Alright, let's go, let's go. This is easy. This is literally... I think I could beat this game in a few hours now, like the original. Not in 8 minutes like you, but... Or whatever it was. 7 minutes was your record, right? Oh. Look at... Look at these jumps, bro. If this is not a Jump King, I don't know what is. Hoo-wee, baby! Nope, nope, nope. That's fine. That fall is not bad. 601? Jesus. NB plus times almost that low. Yeah, but it's still... It's... Bro. It's all relative. So I guess you're saying it's trash because, like, for you it's trash. I would be happy with 6 minutes. But then again, it's like... This is what human nature is, right? It's like the amazing thing about being human. For most people, I'm guessing. I don't know. But the fact that, like, you can achieve something and it feels good in the moment. But then you have... What's going on with my green screen? Oh. Did the camera move or something? What is going on here? But then you have to... I don't even know if I moved it well. Did I? Oh, I moved it well. But then you have to basically work... what was it? Oh, yeah. So you achieve something, but it's never enough. You always want more as a human being, right? Some people are satisfied with not much. And a part of me is kind of envious of that, but at the same time, it's like... I don't know, it's part of being human to just be envious, no? Like... I don't know. That's what I think. Alright, let's go here. Why am I doing the same jump? That should be like a full jump or something. Okay. Ah! Really? I'm not gonna screw up at green, bro. Green is so easy. I don't know what they call this. I forgot. Bruh. This is giving me, like... It's giving me anxiety. Bro, it's like when I got my first donation ever. Like, I was, like really, like, wow. And now I'm still very appreciative. Even if I don't show it well. But, like, it's very different than, It's very different, you know? Because, like, I already achieved that. Which is why I feel like no matter what level of success you get to in anything in life, it'll never be enough. Obviously, that doesn't mean that it sucks to get success, right? But, yeah. That being said, success with Twitch and YouTube is very hard. Feels very hard, at least. Oh my god. How am I screwing this up? Bro, I'm gonna lose my crown and just do it the other way at this point. Like, this is not hard. What's going on? Let me at least try it out. Oh, finally. Okay. I remember, like, finding a way to do these pretty well. Okay, finally. Okay, this is easy. Oh my god. This one, it's like, oh, yes. Oh, yes! Okay, we're good. Yes. Okay, cool. I got you, bird. I already know where to go, because I saw this on, I saw this no! I saw this when you were doing this, Doctor. To get to the new Babe area or whatever. Okay, is there any... I always try this for some stupid reason, and it never works. Why'd I try it? Let me at least get to the area, bro. Bad jump. Thursday we'll probably do the challenge. No one responds on Discord anymore. I shouldn't say anymore. In the past few days. Time for me is very, weird. Okay, let's do this. Okay. Oh my god. I almost literally fell off there. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's not... Oh, okay. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Ah, you idiot. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Let's go. Bro, this game's actually... This game's actually really frustrating. I want to lose my crown at this point, bro. If I don't get this within like 10 minutes, I'm ending stream. Just to get to the new area. Like, how did I beat this game? Well, it did take me 22 and a half hours. La 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 la. Ooh. 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 Let's go. Okay, now I'm actually being a beast. Pro tip, don't fall. Thanks. I almost fell. Okay. Pro tip, it worked, bro. Hell yeah. I remember when I first was doing this, I fell off this so many times. Oh my god, that was so frustrating. Because the sewers, it like feels like a new area, because it is. Oh, yes. Okay, this part gets a bit annoying. Yo, we're gonna go for the shoes, bro? Oh, never mind. Wait, why don't I get the shoes? Oh, is it because I did new babe, so there's different shoes? Okay, I wasn't messing that up at all when I was doing 24-hour stream. But that's because I got used to it after a while. Bro, I'm about to scream. We're good. Oh my god, that barely made it. Oh my god, finally! Oh yes, okay. Stop, don't do this to me. This is a full jump a certain way. It's a full jump a certain way, I remember. Oh no, maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. Oh, whatever. I got it. Yo, this is mad annoying. Oh wait, it's a full jump. It's a full jump. Ah! Not like that! What was... I don't remember. Oh, it's a full jump. Oh my god, I almost fell off that. I was about to scream. It was a full jump, I think, from further... If you go all the way forward, I guess? Is that where I screwed up? Interesting strat. Full jump the other way. Oh. Oh. You're making fun of me. Okay. I have a bad habit of, like doing something. Oh my god, I got up. I didn't do the other way. I got hit by the top. Oh, this is the full jump. Oh, that's what you were saying. Okay, I got it. Just don't hit your head. Alright. I remember... Ah! I remember being so lost there, I was about to say, but... I guess I'm still lost there. Alright, I know I'm close. I think it's from the sewers, the access point, right? Okay, good, good. No. This game is actually... It's not even the new one, bro. So the creators of the game basically, what, gave the source or something? Made it open source for people to make their own maps? Is that how it works? Oh my god. Bro, how am I making... I'm literally messing this up over and over. Okay, let me not jinx it, but I'm recovering faster now. No! This game's so addictingly frustrating, bro. Bro, I'm literally gonna scream. Scream and shout, twist and shout. Imagine that song goes. This is Jump King Plus, which is a mod that Phoenix made and updates. Is Phoenix the best player in the world, or is it just some random guy? This is a nice Japanese song. Can you link me that on Discord so I could download that version? I hate this game. This game's retarded. Really? There we go. He's just the mod developer? Oh, okay. na. Oh my god, I actually recovered really fast. For me. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Look at this. Is this? Aren't I moving like so good? Ish. Never mind. Oh yes. Easy. Okay. Alright, let me not screw this up. Oh yeah, I remember how to do this now. Oh yes, okay. Oh. Oh. Okay. This is a full jump. Oh yes. Okay. This is his full jump, and then this is a full jump. And then this jump, I almost never screwed up. Or that one. Oh my god, that was actually almost terrible. I think one of the most objectively, and when I say objectively, I mean for me, hardest jumps in this map is, well, I'll show you. There's tutorials if you want that too, but I can always help. I'd rather you help. Oh, you mean in terms of downloading it? You could just send me a tutorial or whatever. Because I don't want to download it on stream. I mean, I guess I could. In terms of the game, yeah, like I try to figure stuff out and you help, like, but I don't know, that's not what you were saying, right? This jump is really annoying, but it's not that bad because it doesn't push you back that much. Oh, I remember how I used to do this now. This is literally how I used to do this. Oh my god, my fingers remember all of this, bro. Yo, isn't that crazy? And then this is the most annoying jump of the game for me. And that's why. It's so stupid! And it's like, this part's not hard, it's just annoying. Ah! Oh! I just meant to install? Yeah, you could just send me a tutorial for it, if that's okay. Unless it's like very hard to figure out. Then I guess you could help me out. Bro, I thought it was in the sewers. Shut up, person in the cage. I didn't even realize there was a person in this cage. What the hell? I'm the type of person that learns really slow, I feel. But then I remember stuff, maybe. I don't even know what type of person. I think I'm just retarded. I think I'm just stupid. Right, let's go here. My sweetheart, heart, it's Can I even do this? Oh, never mind. Just testing it out. There we go. Let's get back up there. We get up there. Wait, that's the wrong side. Damn it! It's like I realize afterwards, just like in chess. I have 2 minutes to do this. Come on. No. Alright. This is a full jump. And then this is like that. And this is... Ah! Suka bliet, bro. JK Plus is super easy. It's just an installer. But if you ever install custom maps... Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, then I'll just do the installer. And then, like, obviously when you're done with yours... With your map, I'm definitely going to play that one. Okay, I don't think I realized I could full jump that. There's so many full jump. I wonder if we could just go through everything with... What am I doing? I didn't think of it! I wonder if we could do everything with full jumps. Well, obviously you can't do this with full jumps. Full jumps and short jumps. Can you? Is that possible? Like if... I'm assuming if you want to do it fast, right? Soda... When life goes back, oh, yeah. Let's see. I wasn't even thinking. Why didn't I think? I have 8 seconds. I'm just gonna ignore the clock. The cock. I mean the clock. Ooh, there we go. Ooh, Attack on Titan. Oh my god. This song is so sexy. Oh, it's so dumb how we have to wait a whole year for the next season. Like, I wanted to continue watching it. One show that I have to watch and record is Haikyuu. I get so pumped up for Haikyuu, bro. You guys don't even understand. Alright, this should be fine. Most of the first map has full jump strats, not all jumps, but most, and all screen transitions can be done with full jumps if you didn't already realize that. Wait, really? I didn't realize. Are you serious? Can this jump be done full? If this can be done full jump, I'm gonna smash my head into the table. Like, can you like hit off the right side or some BS? Whatever. If I miss that one more time, I'm just gonna stop playing. I actually didn't realize that, Doctor, because I'm an idiot. I think I'm brilliant when I do full jumps, not realizing I could just... That's that I know of? Oh, okay. Na, 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 na. Just aim for the middle, lol. Yeah. I'm in for a speedrunner, it's easy, I'm sure. Watch. Look at the speedrunning freaking strats, baby. Let's go! This is giving... It's literally causing stress in my heart. I hate this game so much. Especially since I beat this shit already, bro. Alright, there we go. Like a fallen angel. Oh my god, I almost screwed that up. Okay, finally! Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. Finally. I don't... Oh, you said everything could be done full jump, but... It's the angles also. Okay. I remember how to do this. This is pretty hard to screw up. Oh. No, that's a full jump! Oh, it's fine. Wrong. What's going on with me? Oh my god, I'm doing it so cockily. You're like 5 rooms away, just get good for a minute. I know. I hate this fucking game, bro. I don't curse much. Except when I do. But this game is so stupid. With this amazing song, too. There we go. Oh, okay. Like, my heart skips a beat, bro. I feel like if you were a senior playing this game, you'd get a heart attack, I swear. Not that anyone here is a senior that I know of. Okay, that is a full jump, okay. I think this is a full... Yeah, that's a full jump. And this is a full jump. This is an annoying jump, too. It could be so much more annoying, though, so that was fine. There we go. Okay, this is easy. Oh, no. Now I remember. Oh, my God, no. This... Now I remember the most annoying... There's a lot of annoying... No, it was all the way... Oh, no. There's so many annoying jumps in this game. I always do, like, mess it up in that exact way, too. My fingers, like, are stupid. There we go. Oh, it's okay. I didn't realize I could... Okay. In. Oh my god. Okay, at least I'm recovering pretty well. Oh, stop it. I remember in the stream when I was at Bargensburg and I was just like so tired. Oh my god, I thought I messed that up. Bargensburg is so annoying. Okay, there we go. You know what? Let's try it from the back. Let's go! That's a short jump. That was supposed... Oh! In my asshole. That's what that was in. Okay. Okay. In. Yes! This is... No! 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 Oh. Ah! Just... Bro, I already beat this stupid game. Alright, no. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, doctor. That was... It's... I'm done. I'm sorry. I give up. Thanks for watching. Yeah, 1 pixel clutches are nice. I think you're the only one watching now, too. But I'll be signing off for now. Unfortunately, I won't see Aqua, but yeah. I need to go bed anyway. Oh, okay. Have a good night then. Oh, do the... You could do the good night thing, eh? But yeah, good night. Have an amazing...